Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
I have a fun interview for you today. I'll be speaking with a woman who authored the 50 States Bucket List. It's a book which describes things to do in every state and offers space to journal details of the trip. Today's episode is sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then a membership at Workamper.com is for you. Join today at www.workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. I interviewed Jessica Laughlin, the author of the 50 States Bucket List, several months ago. I appreciate her patience as we work through a whole bunch of interviews with work campers and employers. Jessica's book is a delightful look at the many activities to do and places to see in all 50 states. For RVers planning trips, her book would be a fun resource to use in making travel plans. Writing the book was her way of combining a passion for travel, a love for writing, and a talent for drawing into one big project. The book features hand-drawn maps of every state that accentuates historical sites and fun things off the beaten path. Jessica describes the book as her love letter to the open road. In writing it, she hopes to spark an interest in travel among other people and then fan those desires into real flame. To tell us more about her motivation for publishing a book, please welcome Jessica Laughlin, the author of the 50 States Bucket List, to the show. Thanks for joining me, Jessica. I really appreciate it. You have been an adventurer for a while, but you've been doing it more with cars and planes than RVs. Is that correct?
That's right. Good morning, Greg. It's good to be here. Thanks so much for having me on your show. And yes, with the 50 States Bucket List, it is a book that was an idea long before it actually materialized. And I do love to travel, but I love road trips the most. I don't have an RV, but it's part of the concept of the book. It's written like a road trip, and it's perfect for RVers too.
I agree. It talks about all 50 states. And what prompted you to write this book?
It all began several years before it really started with the art. I'm a pin artist, and I just naturally really like to draw small, on a smaller scale. And one day I began drawing a map. It was actually Lake Tahoe's first one I did, and it was a few years ago that it all started. And from that point forward, I just went on to California and then the different states. And in the process of while I was drawing and working on the maps as a hobby, I was learning so much about each state, and not just the normal historical attractions or the landmarks, but I was learning about places that were off the beaten path and more unusual, the scenic byways. And I would include a lot of that in those maps too. So that's how the book actually all originated before I even submitted it in for consideration.
Did you do all the illustrations in the book as well?
Yes, I wrote and illustrated the whole book. And it really is my love letter to the open road, because I love traveling, but I also love art. So I blended the two together. All the little illustrations and everything were done by hand. And so it took me a while to do all of that.
I can imagine, yes. What does it offer to readers?
I think especially, and I'll start off by saying here too, to all the RV travelers out there listening, it is really wonderful to be here to share my book with you. And I do think that this book in particular is good for the road for the RV life, because you're literally out there, and I'm jealous. I wish I had an RV to be out there traveling like that. But you're seeing so much along the way. So it's not just a book that is about places and tourist destinations. It's also the places that you might least expect, a certain state that you're in. So it gives you a little idea of other places that you could venture to. And also, it has journal pages. So you can put down your own adventures. And if you have kids, this is a great book for the kids. They can play trivia with it along the way. It's very educational and informative, but the whole family can write about their adventures and where they went. It's a nice timepiece and definitely a keepsake.
I've been looking at some of the pages while we're talking, and I like the journal aspect of it because you can go in there and note the date that you visited and who was with you and what the weather was like and places that you stayed, and as well as like local cuisine. That would be so important,
Right.
so that you find this lovely restaurant. And if you ever come back, you want to, where did we go to eat? And we just loved it. Now you can put that in there. And it just,
Absolutely. Yeah. And, for generations to come too, because being out on the road, like, especially if you're RVing and you're living and working in different places, I think that there's so much that maybe the future generations might want to look back and say, oh, wow, maybe we'll check this out. Or, wow, they were here or there. And so it's also for you personally, just to record your travel experiences and also for, your kids or for generations to come.
and it offers interesting things to do in each of the states so that you can do some planning when you're getting there to make sure that you hit all of the major tourist attractions that people typically like to see when they're in those states.
That's right. Yeah, I tried to put all of the important things about each state in there as well. Put a little history, a little bit about the culture and different things that are unique to each state because all 50 states are so unique. And I will say that I have not traveled to all 50 states, and I'm sure that most RVers out there have actually traveled more than I have. But I have the desire to go, and I've traveled a lot on both coasts and everything. But I just think that it's a wonderful lifestyle to be out there traveling on the road and also working and just the lifestyle out there that the RV community is doing. I think it's great.
How did you compile all the information that's in that book?
Really started with the maps and working on each one individually. And as I went along, I wanted to make sure that each map that I drew had the characteristics of each state, not just the same across the board. I wanted them all to really show the geography and the landmarks and everything. In doing so, I compiled a lot of information just by that alone. Suddenly I was really learning a lot through this hobby project of mine. And so it just all came together. A lot of research about different places and also bits and pieces of people who I've met along the way, talking to people when I travel or different things, people that I've known, stories and things like that have been incorporated into this book.
That's neat. The artwork, the maps, when we're talking maps, it's not like a directional map, but it's
No,
basically a picture of the state, which with drawings for each location in the state or the major locations to give people a feeling for what they're going to encounter when they visit.
exactly. And it's like more fun than obviously just looking at a regular map. And I've always really liked maps and atlases. It's always been my thing too. I enjoyed always looking at regular maps, but this takes it like a step further when you're seeing an illustrated version of everything. So it's fun. And I think that people of all ages, kids love it, adults love it. It doesn't matter what your age is. And people like it because it's not just like looking at a regular map. So,
Exactly. And it's very accurate. I looked up some of the states that I visited, and you did a good job of depicting the highlights
thank
in
you.
those states.
Oh,
So,
thank you so
yeah.
much.
What are some of the favorite places you've encountered?
I would say first that one of my most favorite places to go that we've been often is being here in Nevada. It's easy to go to in the surrounding states more often than some of the other places. California, of course, the Central Coast. And we love going down to Pismo and San Luis Obispo County. It's just beautiful there. That whole area, that stretch of Central Coastline and Cambria and just San Simeon and all those places around there. That's definitely one of my most favorite places to visit. But there's so many other places too in Arizona and throughout the West and throughout the whole country.
What are some of the things that are on your bucket list? After doing all this research, are there any states that you really want to visit someday?
I would love to go actually sometime soon. I want to make it to Tennessee and Kentucky, that area I have not been to. And it's surprising that I haven't because I really do. I love the music and all of that. I'd love to go to Nashville. I'd love to go to Memphis. And I definitely think that's on my bucket list. One of the next trips I'll take is probably to that region and to Tennessee. I want to go to the Great Smoky Mountains and stay in Gatlinburg. I think that all of that looks really interesting.
As somebody who comes from Nevada, that's a rather dry state when you think about it.
It's very dry.
Do you like the coasts?
I do. I love the coast. And really, Nevada it's where I'm from and it is where we live now and everything. But I love being on the coast and I love going to other places, especially in the summertime that have the cooler, more enjoyable weather. So, and like I said, going back to the RV travelers out there, I hope one day that I could just take an RV and get out of the area, get out of this whole desert for the whole summertime would be great.
I suspect that once you get one, even if you rent it, you'll fall in love with the lifestyle and the ability to bring your home with you wherever you go.
Oh, I'm sure. I think it's just incredible. And I know that we were talking about before on air, but we were talking about the different people who have kids and they actually show them instead of just everything being in a textbook, they're actually experiencing the country firsthand and the history and everything. And I think also for anybody, just being out there and experiencing the world and traveling around, in the country like they do in an RV.
That's right. And you own a little dog too, don't you?
We do, yes. We don't have kids, but we have a little Maltese named Gracie. She's our baby. She's a miniature Maltese, and she likes to travel too. She's always riding in the back seat. Typically, whenever we go anywhere, she's always with us. She likes that lifestyle too. I think if we had an RV, she would just probably love it.
I would say that most RVers travel with a pet of some sort, and the little dogs are one of the favorites.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah, they probably love that, being in new places all the time and getting out. So,
Absolutely. So
yeah, not a dull life for a dog, right?
that's right.
To be an RV dog. How lucky, how spoiled is that, right?
Oh, they get different scents every day. It's just
Yeah.
a great place for them to explore as well. What do you do for a living? Is it a writer
Well,
for?
I of course I work on my art and everything, but I'm also a realtor. So I work in real estate here in Las Vegas and Henderson. But I have both caps on. As far as writing and my art, that's always just as important to me.
I understand that you sell your art. You've developed a website to make it available for people.
I do. I sell it on my website and I also sell it on Etsy. So I have an Etsy page where you can go on there and I have different prints of all the states. So you could purchase a print of your own state or place that you visited. And I also have other art on there as well and on my website at jessicalaughlin.design.com.
That's nice. What kind of art do you specialize in? It looks like, did you say pen art?
It is. It's pen and ink, and I use a little watercolor too. When you look at the maps, a lot of they've been watercolored, and it's a mixed media process. First, it starts with the pen and ink, and then apply some watercolor washes to it. And then, of course, to get it print ready, it is put on the computer and cleaned up a little bit before it was sent off for print. But everything is done by hand. All the artwork is done. I use very fine tip micron pens. And that's how it all starts. And then from that point forward, once I have the map and everything, I then begin to add the color in.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
people have a favorite place that they visited, whether it's a national park or a state, it looks like they can come on and probably find a drawing to depict that.
That's right. And I tried to go in each state when I would work on the map art, I would start going by region. And it wouldn't all just happen at once. I would go by region. Okay, I'm in the southern part of the state. What does this part of the state have to offer? What are the best places? And then I would move on to the other region of the state until it's all complete. And I would add in, of course, some of the main cities and towns so that you have that perspective of where you are on the map.
Do you do photography as well?
I do, yeah. On the side, it's something that I really enjoy. I was actually a long time ago, I was a wedding photographer too, and I worked in that business. And it's always been something that I enjoy. I always have my camera with me when we go on the road. And typically, I don't draw as much on the road. I always bring my camera because that's my time that I can get out there and just photograph. And I do it as much as I possibly can. And in fact, it's hard right now in Las Vegas with the heat like it is to be able to get out and photograph as much as I like to. But it is.
What kind of camera equipment do you use? A lot of people just use their cell phones. So it's neat that you have an
Oh,
actual
no.
camera.
No, actually, I have a rather older camera. It's a Nikon D3600. I've got a Nikon D700. So I have a couple older cameras and I would like to get a new one soon. I'm planning on that. But I always have been with Nikon since I started out. So that's just the type of camera that I work on, mostly DSLR.
That's what I grew up on. Absolutely. It's funny how people either Nikon or Canon.
Or Canon.
It's like
Yeah.
a big debate that's going on there. And
And
once you
not
get it,
even,
you're loyal to that
right.
brand.
And I love Canon too. I've used Canons before, and I think that they take great photographs too. It's just whatever you get used to, it's just the feeling of having the camera and what you're most comfortable with.
Do you recommend that people take a camera with them rather than use their cell phones? And if so, why?
Absolutely. I think photography as a hobby is great because especially if you're on the road, like you would be traveling by RV, seeing so much. And to document your photos with an actual good camera is important. Photos on the phone can only do so much, and they are great. The resolution and everything of the camera phone pictures are great now, but there's something about having that camera in your hand and learning the art of photography, even if it's just something that you do on the side or as a hobby. And it's fun and it gets you out there. It's something also to do that gets you out in nature or out in a different way than just walking around.
I,
So,
I agree. But taking pictures is one thing to capture the memories, but the memories do no good if they're stuck in your digital file rather than out and about where you can display them. How do you display these things so that you can remember these beautiful places that you've been to or the most meaningful experiences you've had?
I have a lot of photographs that are on, of course, my computer, but I also print them out or I print out not all of them, but I print out my favorites, of course, because so many times you'll lose things. If they're not like in the print format, you'll lose it. And it's the same thing with, if you, for instance, lose your iPhone or something, people are taking pictures all the time on their iPhone or if something happens to it, then all that is gone. So I do try to make it a point, like every few months, I actually send pictures off to be printed. And I've got boxes and photo albums and everything. So I just think it's important. And I like looking back on them because there's a lot of photos trips my husband and I took from years ago that if I just left them on my phone, they would be gone by now or something might have happened to them.
How can people connect with you if they'd like to learn more about what you do or to buy your
I have an Instagram page. And so on my Instagram page, I post different things that I'm working on, some photography, some art. And I have been posting more on there as of lately. You can find me on Instagram and it's at Jessica Laughlin Art, just all one word there. And then you can also, of course, find me on my website. But the book is available on Amazon, The 50 States Bucket List, The Ultimate Journal for a Journey Across America. And since we are on the podcast here, I'll explain. It's got a blue cover with silver lettering, so you won't miss it there. And it is on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Walmart or Target, wherever you get your books. It's also sold in different stores throughout the country. And it's exciting for me to see. I've seen some different photos and things of it different places. So it is in different stores and wherever that you buy books online as well.
That's neat. Thank you very much
neat.
for sharing your story today with me, Jessica, and for talking about your book and encouraging people to get out there and explore these states that they're in. That's a benefit of being a work camper is you get to visit a different region of the country and then you shouldn't be spending your days inside the RV. You should be out and exploring this beautiful country and the places that you're visiting.
Greg, thank you so much for having me. And just what you said, I'm just so inspired by this lifestyle. And I really feel like sometime I should really get into it. And I really want to get an RV and get out there so that I'm on the road too. Because I think that everything that you say about all of this is really, it's a great concept for life. And I think that there is always that notion that people just have a house, they stay at their house and they do their normal routine. But this is so different, and it's just a different way of looking at life. And why not get out, travel, and experience? I really hope that if you do pick up my book, and I hope that you enjoy it. And like I said, it is great for all ages, and I think it's a perfect RV companion.
I agree. Thank you again for your time, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Greg. You too.
I'm jealous of Jessica Laughlin, the author of the 50 States Bucket List, not only for her ability to research so many details about various states, but also to capture the flavor of each state through her meticulous drawings. Each state is highlighted in a 2 to 3 page spread that provides background information on the state, as well as suggestions on what to do and see when visiting. The state's full-color, hand-drawn map gives people an idea of what takes place in various regions of the state, or what it might be best known for in terms of history and culture. What makes Jessica's book so special is that she created space for readers to journal details of their visits. She prompts people to write about the strangest sights they saw in the state, as well as the best food they enjoyed and where they found it. Jessica said it's also a great book for kids to journal their own experiences on the state while studying history and learning key facts as well. Writing and drawing for books is just a hobby for Jessica, who works full-time as a realtor in the Las Vegas area. She has done some travel already, but RVing with her husband and dog remains on her bucket list of things to do. People can connect with Jessica on Instagram or by visiting her website at www.jessicalaughlin.designs.com. If you're looking for a nice gift for someone who loves to travel, I encourage you to pick up a copy of Jessica's book on Amazon or at other bookstores. Do you want to be featured in an upcoming episode of The Workamper Show? Then schedule an interview with me at workampershow.com. We'd love to hear about your work camping experiences, how you got started RVing, and what you love and dislike about the RVing lifestyle. You can help others explore all the different ways to live this great lifestyle by sharing your story. If you are an employer of work campers, we invite you to be on the podcast too. Share all the details of your work camping jobs in a future episode. It only costs a little bit of your time. Schedule an interview with me at workampershow.com. You'll find the schedule buttons on the homepage. That's all I have for today's show. Next week, I'll be speaking with a couple who just took over a campground run by their parents for 25 years in Maine. I'll have more details on the next episode of The Workamper Show. Thank you for listening.